To me, one thing is for sure. David Cameron had no choice but to resign after the EU referendum. However, what he did have a choice over is whether to supply an honours list on his way out Downing Street, i.e. a roll call of people he deemed suitable to enter the House of Lords. It's understood that chief amongst his recommendations are Craig Oliver, his former Director of Communications, his former Head of Policy, Camilla Cavendish, only in post a mere 14 months, and his former Deputy of the Policy Unit, Chris Lockwood, who the PM listed as a personal friend at the Leveson inquiry. Cue howls of cronyism. It's now believed that several of his suggestions have been blocked by concerned civil servants. But why on earth does an ex-Prime Minister have the luxury of recommending his chums for honours on the way out of the job? Especially one that's left the country battling to thrash out Brexit. I have no issue with the honours system overall. But a Prime Minister's resignation honours list? Do me a favour. Big smile there, June.
Yeah, I don't think I am going to do you a favour, actually.
June Sarpong MBE. June Sarpong MBE.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
And it's true. Go on.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think there are enough checks and balances in place, particularly with the Lords, because of the past abuses that there have been of the system, to make sure that, you know, somebody who does not belong in there doesn't end up in there now.
You feel that all the systems there, because I'm specifically,
I
just
think
to be
the
clear,
House of Lords Appointments Commission is pretty robust.
I'm specifically talking about the tradition in this country for a Prime Minister to have a resignation honours list. I'm not talking about the honours system overall. And did you know in 2012 that David Cameron created a panel that was expressly to do political honours at his behest? And interestingly, when I was looking into this, our Queen, wonderful Majesty the Queen, any of the ones that are only the honours just in her gift to give, there hasn't been any scandal associated with. It's only when the Prime Ministers have lent on that honours book, recommendation book, that there have been scandals.
But in terms of with David Cameron's list, the fact that it's been flagged up in itself shows you that the system is actually robust enough to deal with situations like this. The last time we had a scandal about sort of a Prime Minister's resignation list was obviously Wilson's lavender list. So
that's not the last time. Tony Blair didn't give one because of the Cash for Honours scandal.
Yeah, but Tony Blair didn't give one, exactly. So my point is, most of the time, the Prime Minister's resignation list, or whenever they leave, it's not complicated.
Nick, let me bring you in on this. Do you seriously think, let's say, and I have nothing personal against any of these people, that somebody who is a Director of Communications in a government deserves to be ennobled?
Emma, I respect you. You're a journalist, and I'm a great fan of your work, and well-read.
And I'm well-read and I'm reasonable.
I don't know why it's bothering you. I don't know why. It goes on. So someone gets an OBE, someone gets an MBE. Where I get you, it does whiff a little bit, but
cheese.
Yeah, I get you. But how does it impact your life?
Well, it does.
We pay for those people
in the House of Lords.
We pay for those people £300 a day if they go into the House of Lords. I'm telling you exactly how it impacts my life. And then they look at pieces of legislation or bills that are coming through. And I want the best eyes on our laws. You said at the top of this programme. You said at the top of this programme, we've got a serious problem. We're at war now in this continent with terrorism. Don't you want the best people?
Can I ask you just a quick question? Don't you think a Prime Minister probably does have a good handle on who maybe deserves an honour and who deserves to be...
It doesn't mean they can't bring something to the party just because they've been chief of staff.
I agree with you 100%. I think you should just get rid of honours being nominated by a Prime Minister because they're leaving. And over the years, there have been some really embarrassing cases. But most of these people, they've done a job. That's all they've done. They got a job and they did it. That's the rest of us do all the time. You do not get an honour for just being 18 months alongside Cameron.
I agree, and that's why... It's been flagged up.
That's why you shouldn't have it.
And that's why the committee has actually said we are not sure about these people.
But June might be right. If they're stopped, as June said, the system... And it is an if, but if they're stopped, the system seems to work.
Why waste these people's time?
And it's a cross-party system.
Who I'm also paying for with my tax dollars here. What do you think, Michelle?
To me, you either want an honours system or you don't. And if we choose to have one, and we do obviously have one, why can't the Prime Minister, on his or her way out, say, look back and go, actually, these are the people that have supported me and brought about... Because no single person runs a country on his or her own. Yes, but what I'm saying is, on your way out, why can't you look back? And by the way, I never thought I'd hear myself agreeing with you, June. Yeah. This is a new one for me. I'm shocked.
I'm enjoying it.
And slightly speechless with it all. But I do share your view. I think, why not? Why not? Because if the system is there to make sure there's no wrong-uns there that shouldn't be there, or someone that that is really, really done wrong or is not good, if that system is there to prevent those things from happening,
but they're not wrong-uns. Somebody who works for him is not a wrong-un.
No, but Emma...
They might still be deemed OK on this list, but it's preposterous that somebody who is leaving Downing Street, especially in the circumstances that we have just seen, somebody who threw the dice, didn't get the result they wanted in a referendum, gets to say...
How much does that colour your view on this?
So, no, it doesn't colour it on this occasion at all. But it doesn't mean that it's in any way normal that you just turn around and go, here are all my closest cronies, you all get to go and have a hearing. I'm saying to you, he's leaving in a crisis and then he's got time to turn around. It's the most odd... It rankles with normal people because they were just doing a job.
I totally get your point there. And also, at the end of the day, he was trying to fill it with more Tory peers so that they can pass more legislation.
That's the other thing we've not discussed.
But what I'm saying is that the House of Lords Appointments Commission is cross-party, and actually, in instance like this, there is a system in place to flag this sort of thing up.
Why don't we just get rid of it so there doesn't need to be a system?
You mean the resignation?
Get rid of what?
You mean the whole
resignation. The honours system itself, I think, is one of those wonderful things in our British society.
Well, except...
Hang on a minute. I was just going to say, the Queen is like a benevolent headmistress. It's really lovely. For most people who get these honours actually work in the public sector, don't get paid very well, and go above and beyond in public duty.
Brilliant.
It is an amazing thing. You must have felt so proud, as your family did, for your services to charity and broadcasting. I did my homework.
Thank you, dear.
What I would say is it doesn't fit right that the Prime Minister... I know you're still waiting.
I've got a long wait.
This is Nick's pitch. But, what I would say is it doesn't smell right, to use the phrase, that you turn around just as you're leaving and you say, hey, mate.
I'll give you that. All I'm saying is that there is a system in place.
Because Director Generals of the BBC normally get knighted. When I left, someone said to me, do you think they'll still knight you? I said, look, I think it's touch and go whether they'll let me be called Mister.
The Tower.
Yes, they'd rather have put me in the Tower, I think, than to But honestly, I think the whole honours system needs to be looked at again. I think there are too many people who get honours because they get a job in the civil service and you automatically get an honour for doing that. And I think that's completely wrong. I'm all in favour of an honours system for people who've done exceptional things in society. But too many honours are still going to people who've helped fund political parties.